What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video, and as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of August, which means we are at the very start of the fall video game release season, the most wonderful time of the year. Later this month we have Star Wars Outlaws, early next month we have Space Marine 2, in October we have Black Ops 6, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got tons of games and expansions to look forward to, and I'll be sharing some of the bigger games that I'm excited for and have my eye on next week. In fact, since it's been a quieter year for PlayStation and Xbox first-party games, that AA and indie level gaming scene has really been popping, with some fantastic experiences that are totally worth checking out. So today I'm sharing 5 new games that might be flying under the radar, but that are absolutely worth adding to your wish list. And in the case of one, for me, totally worth watching other people play it on Twitch. Let's start things off with Metal Slug Tactics. I've been following this game for years since it was announced during a Nintendo Direct, but it's a blend of Into the Breach with a turn-based combat on this stylized grid of a landscape and the classic look and feel of the iconic Metal Slug side-scrolling shooter series. Now, Metal Slug is a game that's really nostalgic for me. Every year my family would go on a fall camping trip to the mountains, and there was this little arcade above the laundromat at the campground that had this older Metal Slug machine, and I spent hours upon hours popping quarters in and falling in love with that pixel art style, and it's made Metal Slug one of my favorite arcade games of all time. Into the Breach is also a game that I love the look of. It's a super accessible tactics game that's easy to pick up and play, and also has this arcadey look and feel that meshes well with the art style of something like Metal Slug. Ironically, the developers of Into the Breach are not the developers that are making Metal Slug Tactics. Liker Studio, I think I said that correctly, is actually leading this project with support from Bandai Namco, and this team has an eclectic list of past projects that range from a bullet hell platformer to city builders, but even without a beefy catalog of past projects, the gameplay snippets we've seen for Metal Slug Tactics speak for themselves. This game looks fantastic, especially for people that are playing on handhelds like the Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck. It just has that cozy couch feel to it. Next up, we have Death Sprint 66 from Sumo Digital. Now, I covered this game in a video a couple of weeks back because the team reached out and asked if I wanted to go hands-on with an early build of the game through a remote play session, and you know that I had to take them up on that offer. This game is basically cyberpunk Mario Kart, where 8 players go head-to-head in super fast on-foot races through techie neon cities. But the coolest thing about this game is the lore. In 2066, the world has been dealing with war, famine, and climate change, but that doesn't mean we don't need entertainment. The Bachman Media Network is there to make it happen, with a new high-stakes game show where clone jockeys are put on tracks that are riddled with death traps so the fans at home can either watch people race and win, or get roasted sprinting through an electrified wall. It's a win-win either way. Obviously, as the name Clone Jockey suggests, the Bachman Media Network has endless waves of clones to keep dropping into the race to keep the action going, and I played for an hour or two during my remote playtest, and it's shaping up to be a great time so far. Now, this is only coming to PC at launch, but the team is open to exploring other platforms in the future once they get out of this initial launch window and get the game going on PC. But if you want to check out more of my first impressions, I've got a full video up on my channel breaking down my time with the game and showing off some gameplay if you want to see that. Now we have Parcel Core, the Paperboy Trials fusion Matt Hoffman's BMX combination that I never knew I needed. This game was shown off during a recent Xbox showcase and puts you in the shoes of a freelance bicycle delivery guy in a city that's called New Island, where 3 mega corporations are going head-to-head to be the top company in town. You'll pick a company and start running missions to build a name for yourself and start fighting that corporate war, but then a gas company headed up by a man named Rich Villain, very fitting, is threatening the bicycle courier lifestyle, and it's up to you to save the world. They say the story is going to be packed with satire, commenting on the gig economy, influencers, big tech, and more of the things that we see in our lives every single day. But the gameplay is what really shines here. You've got rooftop hopping, rail grinding, half-pipe riding, sliding. It definitely seems like there's going to be a ton of gameplay variety, and the time crunch element of being a delivery person is probably going to make this one a great pickup for speedrunners. Now we've got one of my favorite projects of 2022 that's back for another round. Atari 50 The Anniversary Celebration launched in November 2022 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of one of the most influential gaming companies of all time. Without Atari, the gaming industry as we know it wouldn't exist today, and if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I am all about gaming history and the preservation of not only the games that have gotten us to where we are, but the stories of how those projects came together to begin with. Atari 50 does exactly that. It brings together more than 100 playable classic Atari games that span from the Atari 800 all the way to the Atari Lynx, along with 6 entirely new takes on some of the most iconic classics. But the real historic value of this bundle is that every era of Atari can be explored explored through interactive timelines that have old ads, videos, pictures, and interviews with some of the people that made this era of gaming happen. Now, all of that came out in 2022, but Digital Eclipse is coming back to Atari 50 with the expanded edition this year that includes 39 new playable games now that Atari owns Intellivision. You've got two new timelines, the wider world of Atari that explores the company's impact through the years, and the first console war, telling the story of the Atari 2600 going head-to-head with Intellivision. The further we get from the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, the more important it is to preserve these games and their stories. And Atari might not be the dominant powerhouse of the gaming industry that they were back in the day, but they're still doing some fantastic work to keep those classics alive with new modern twist, while also partnering with companies like Digital Eclipse to keep the company's origin story alive and well. And playable. Finally, we have a game that some people may want to play and that some would rather watch, and I think I fall into the Twitch stream viewer group on this one, but you can't deny that Baby Steps is one of the funniest and weirdest looking games of the year. In Baby Steps, you play as Nate, an unemployed dude in his 30s living in his mom's basement. He's burned out with nothing going for him until he starts putting one foot in front of the other and getting life going. You may be able to tell from the gameplay and the art style that this is coming in part by the mind of Bennett Foddy, the developer of the infamous indie Getting Over It, and the ultimate goal here is to literally walk and move forward in life. Through forest, over mountains, along walls, whatever it takes to find the meaning in life. As with all Foddian style games, you can pick up and play these, but the simple controls mean nothing. You will trip, stumble, and fall down mountains, but you can guarantee there is going to be some hilarious and potentially scarily relatable humor sprinkled in along the way.
Oh, can you not?
It's just, I didn't.
Yeah, let's go back in time to when you didn't.
No, I was just trying to catch it with my, sorry.
With your foot, yeah, you tried to catch it.
I saw it was starting to go, and I just tried to...
You just kicked, you thought, I'll give it a good kick to counteract the fall.
Yeah, I was just trying to steady it. I might be over...
Yeah, you might have. You might have oversteadied it.
No, it was just a little oversteadied.
Well, it's not steady now.
No, well...
See you later.
Wanker. And there they are, 5 games that I think you should have on your wish list for the rest of 2024 that might not be getting headlines across the industry, but that definitely deserve your attention. And of course, I'll have another video going through some of the larger games that I've got my eye on next week, but I would love to know in the meantime what your thoughts are down below. What smaller indie or AA level games do you have on your wish list? Drop those in the comments. And of course, as always, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, you're new here and you like what you see and what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop, and I'll catch you on the next one.